I think we can start.
Let's give it one more minute and we can start right on time. Okay, so shall we start?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, great. Okay, so welcome everyone to our Alumni UK webinar on artificial intelligence. Thank you very much all for joining. My name is Poppy Fascianou and I am the Education Manager at British Council Greece. Today's webinar is part of the British Council offer to the vibrant community of graduates of UK universities in Greece. It's part of a series of lectures led by industry experts that we offer to support your professional learning and skills development. I think that many of you are already members of Alumni UK. Alumni UK is the British Council's global network for people from around the world who have studied in the UK or with the UK. It's a network that is free and it gives you access to a variety of exclusive events. If you're not members already, do register so as to find new opportunities and showcase your skills on a global stage. And we'll share the link to this platform shortly in chat. So, in our webinar today, we'll explore several aspects of artificial intelligence, from the skills needed in this area to the impact on our daily activities and so much more. You can share your questions as we go along by clicking on the Q&A button that you can see on your screen, and there will be time to respond to these questions at the end. The session will be recorded and shared and made available later for any other people who would like, to attend but couldn't join today. And now it's with great pleasure that I welcome our speaker today, Anastasios Dabizas. Anastasios is the Business Development Manager at the Southeast European Research Centre, CERC, of City College, University of York, Europe Campus. He has more than 20 years of professional experience in EU-funded projects in the areas of research, innovation, and regional development. He is, of course, a UK alumnus of the University of Loughborough and the University of Sheffield, and he is now pursuing a PhD in artificial intelligence at the International Hellenic University. So, a warm welcome, Anastasios. The floor is yours.
Thanks a lot. Hello and good evening from my side. Before starting, I would like also to thank Ms. Fascianou and the British Council for the invitation and her welcome speech. As she said, my name is Anastasios Dabizas and I hold the position of the Business Development Manager. In CERC, I lead and manage multiple EU-funded projects, some of in the AI field, and also I have a passion for AI from a young age and the use of the new technologies. And this has led me to start a PhD in International Hellenic University. My presentation today, AI for Progress, will last approximately 40 minutes, followed by a QA session in the end. So let's dive in. Before I start begin my presentation, I would like you to scan the QR code that you can see on the screen. This will provide you with some interactivity among us, and you can participate in all these discussion topics that you can see on the screen. So you can use your mobile phone and just point to the QR code. If you cannot do so, don't be afraid. In the next slide, I'm going to show you how to do it going to a website and put a number in your screen. So let's start. Today we'll cover the increasing necessity of AI in daily life, the revolutionary impact of ChatGPT, essential skills for an AI-driven workplace, and the ethical considerations surrounding AI. In the end, I will also try to provide you with some practical information and AI tools that I use to perform my daily activities quicker and more efficient. And maybe you can find all this useful for yourself as well. So let's start with a poll in the beginning. Just give it a second to upload. All right. So the first thing I'm going to ask you is how familiar are you with AI technologies? Are you an expert? Are you a novice? Do you have moderate familiarity? Or it is a very familiar process to use? So we can see here one person says moderate. The seconds, most of the persons are moderate, and some of them are experts. No novice and no very familiar with it. So let's give it a minute or some seconds so we can have some other results. So most of the people on the participants panel have a moderate familiarity with technology, so that's good. That's a good thing. And secondly, I want to ask, what's the first word that comes in your mind when you think of artificial intelligence? We can see here many things such as knowledge, change. ChatGPT is the one that I'm going to refer later on. Research, smart thinking, automation, speed, big data, fear also. We're going to talk about ethical complications of AI. So we're going to talk about fear as well. And solutions, that's the good part of it. So you know that feeling, the one where you see something so cool, so futuristic that you just say, wow. We all had those moments with AI, whether it's watching a robot in a science fiction movie, playing a game, seems almost too smart, or hearing about some crazy new technologies. AI has always had the wow factor. So the journey from just an idea to can live without it didn't happen overnight. There have been some pretty amazing milestones along the way, changing how we think about AI. And I'm going to refer to this one in the next slide. Let's take a quick trip back in time. The term artificial intelligence was first used in the 1950s, but for a long time after that, AI felt more like something out of a movie than something real. So if for some of us that grew up in the 80s and 90s, you probably remember movies like Terminator or RoboCop, where AI meant machines gone rogue. Those stories shaped how many people imagined AI. Powerful, a little scary, fear, as someone said in the previous slides, and definitely something from the distant future. But all that started to shift with a few wow moments. In 1997, IBM Deep Blue personal computer beat world chess champion Garry Kasparov. That was a huge moment for AI, and was the first time a computer outplayed a human in a game all about strategy, deep thinking. Suddenly, people were paying attention to AI. Then, in 2011, IBM did that again, this time with Watson, a system that took on a popular quiz show and beat the best human players. Unlike Deep Blue, Watson had to understand questions in natural language and figure out answers based on context. That was a whole different level of intelligence. So let's say that these moments weren't just cool tech demos, they changed how we see AI. not as some far-off dream, but as something that already reshaping the world, our world. So not too long ago, if you ask someone about AI, most people would just wave. It was just a kind of a mystery. It was a buzzword maybe, but then something changed. An American AI research organization named OpenAI, founded at 2015, if I'm correct, did something pretty remarkable. They figured out how to train AI models on a massive scale using tons of data that reflect how we actually speak, think, and behave. And that's how ChatGPT was born. So ChatGPT wasn't just another tech release. It was a moment in AI history. For the first time, people could have real conversation with AI. No coding, no technical know-how, just open a browser, type something in, and get a surprisingly smart, often helpful reply. So it wasn't just engineers or researchers using AI anymore. Suddenly, it was students, teachers, business owners, writers, anyone. AI had officially entered our homes, our workplaces, our everyday lives. So we can say that in a way, it created a before and after moment for AI. Before ChatGPT, AI felt distant. After ChatGPT, it felt, let's say, kind of a human. Like clever digital assistants, like think of a clever digital assistant that could help with emails, homework ideas, you name it. But with a huge leap forward comes some big questions too. For example, ChatGPT also made it clear that we need to be careful. There is a lot of misinformation, privacy concerns, bias in the data. These are real challenges that we have to face. So back in 2019, just 6 years ago, the research company OpenAI released something called ChatGPT-2. It might not have had many headlines everywhere at the time, but for those following in the field, it was a game changer. GPT-2 was trained on over 8 million web pages, and the thing that made it special was its ability to generate text that actually sounded like it came from a person. It could hold a conversation, write stories, answer questions, and it did all of that in a way that felt natural. Think of ChatGPT-2 as the warm-up act before the main event. The ChatGPT-2 proved that large language models could actually work, not just in labs or research papers, but in real-world applications. So you can see a history and timeline of the program ChatGPT. Here, you can see some of the most important things that have happened from the release of ChatGPT to now. As I said, in December 2015, the research institution OpenAI is founded. June 2011, OpenAI releases its first major language model, GPT-1. The years after follows ChatGPT-2 and ChatGPT-3. A major turning point was on November 2022, where ChatGPT 3.5 is released to the public, and that brings conversation to users around the world. For the first time, anyone with internet access can interact directly with an engaged AI in real time, and also in multiple languages. So this is, you can understand that this is a wow factor for AI and humanity. And the response from the audience is explosive. Just 2 months after launch in January 2023, ChatGPT surpasses 100 million users. This makes it the fastest growing application in digital history. Just a month later, in February 2023, Microsoft integrates OpenAI technology into its Bing search engine, and productivity tools ignite fierce competition with Google and other tech giants. But there is also the first dark cloud started to appear in AI in March 2023. The rapid rise of generative AI also brings growing concerns, let's say. Many concerns rise all over the world about the ethical use of AI and future AI dangers. At the same time, the Future of Life Institute publishes a widely discussed open letter cited by leading tech figures, including the known Elon Musk from SpaceX and Tesla, and Steve Wozniak from Apple Computers, from Apple Company. This letter was calling for a 6-month pause on training advanced AI models, citing risks to society and human well-being. Also, at the same time, in March, Italy becomes the first EU country to temporarily ban ChatGPT. The Italian government raises concerns that we all may have in our minds, concerns about data privacy, age verification, and the ethical deployment of AI technologies. But let's talk in numbers, as I said previously. Here I can show you some mind-blowing numbers. When ChatGPT was released, it became instantly addictive, and that was in a good way. You know how we can get hooked on scrolling through Facebook or Instagram. Well, ChatGPT had the same I can't stop using effects like these programs. To put things in perspective, Facebook took about 10 months to hit 1 million users. Instagram, just 2.5 months. But what about ChatGPT? You can see here that it takes 2 months to hit 100 million users, and it hit 1 million users in just 5 days, just 5. That's not just fact, that's a record shattering, let's say. And the kind of explosive growth tells us one thing. People were ready for AI, and they could actually use it. And ChatGPT gave them just that. So here's another interesting stat. Who is actually using ChatGPT? And it turns out it's mainly people between 18 and 34 years old, basically the so-called millennials and the Generation Z after. And these are the digital natives, the ones who grew up using internet, smartphones, social media. So it's no surprise that they are the fastest to adopt something like ChatGPT. They are curious, tech-savvy, and constantly looking for tools. So we can see here that older generation are using it too, just not at the same rate yet. But as the technology progresses and keeps improving, it will become more easier to use, and the gap will likely shrink, I can say. Now, there is a big question. You might be wondering, AI has been around for decades, right? So why is it suddenly everywhere now? What changed? Well, it's true that the term artificial intelligence was actually coined way back in 1956, some 70 years before. This was during a summer workshop at Dartmouth College in US. So AI isn't exactly new. It has come a long way. But here's the thing. For a long time, we just didn't have the ingredients to make it really work in the real world. And what has changed? 3 big things. One, the massive amount of data. We are producing more data than before. The second thing will be the incredible computing power. Like today's computers can process the data faster and more efficiently. And third, smarter algorithms, especially deep learning, which has taken AI to the next level. So put all that together and you get the perfect storm, like turning AI from a distant concept into something that's part of our daily lives. And what about global relevance? AI, let's say, isn't just a tech trend, it's shaping global priorities. So you can see governments developing national AI strategies, business reorganizing around it, schools and universities also racing for updating their programs. So here, we see this globally from many different things, from EU AI Act, UK's AI Safety Summit, US Executive Order for AI. So AI has become both a field of international competition and cooperation. In the diagram here, you can see that US and China are leading total capacity. And also, meanwhile, smaller countries like Singapore, Israel, and Switzerland rank higher in intensity, meaning they punch above the weight in AI development. And also countries like the UK and France and South Korea are performing well on both fronts. The chart shows how widespread and crucial AI development is, no matter the size of any country. So, with all this buzz, what is actually AI? The term gets thrown around a lot, but it's often misunderstood. And no, it's not about killer robots or sci-fi science fiction takeovers. Most of what we use today falls under what is called narrow AI. These are systems designed to do specific tasks really well, let's say, recognizing faces or translating text. The more advanced concept, general AI, which will think and adapt like a human, is still mostly theoretical. We are not there yet. So AI might sound abstract, but its impact is very real, and it's happening across many, many industries. For example, in healthcare, AI helps detect diseases early, like spotting signs of cancer. In logistics, it's optimizing supply chains, reducing waste, speeding up deliveries. Also in finance, uses AI to spot fraud in real time, scanning thousands of transactions instantly. And another part is the educational side. And in education, AI tutors are personalizing learning, adapting to each student's needs. So we can see this kind of an aspect. So in the next few slides, I will give you a concrete example that shows just how powerful and practical AI can be. And let's start by some success stories and case studies. So let's now look at some real-world examples and some examples from around the globe and a couple from Greece as well. I will walk through these three sectors where AI is making a real impact. These are industrial manufacturing, customer service, and data analysis. And I will start with a movie. Here you can see one of my favorite movies. I've always loved science fiction. This movie is called Prometheus. So there is a memorable scene in the movie where engineers release drones that scan an unknown area and create a live 3D map. This movie is set in 2093, almost 70 years after today. And it feels like a far-off tech, but it's actually much closer than we think. And I'm going to tell you what I mean in the next slide. Today, telematics software used in logistics, that's something very similar. Companies now use sensors and high-resolution cameras to create real-time 3D maps of warehouses, tracking both products and people in motion. So you can understand that this boosts productivity, it ensures efficiency, and most importantly, improves worker safety. For example, an AI system can reroute a heavy load away from a worker and recalculate its path to maintain safe distances. So this prevents, in a way, accidents before they happen. So that's a really important process. And speaking of moving robots in a workplace, let's look at a great example from the Greek area. It comes from the Hellenic Post called Elta and shows how automation is transforming logistics. So a few years ago, I visited the Thessaloniki International Fair here in Thessaloniki, Greece, and saw these yellow autonomous robots that you can see in the screen in action. These robots are from the National Post, and they use them to sort and archive parcels. Each robot can carry up to 10 kilos and handle 160,000 parcels a day. So this is, as you can imagine, a really big number. And this can cut drastically down cost, time, and a human error compared to traditional methods. So this is a powerful example of how AI and robotics are streamlining operations right here in Greece. So before continuing, let's go back to the poll. Just give it a second to load. And this time I'm going to need your opinion about AI customer service. So just Give me a second to go. So the question is, which is your preferred way to communicate with customer service? Telephone representative, human, chatbot, a chat program, or AI voice agent, the voice program? And I can see here that all participants replied with a telephone representative, human. So we are not probably actually there to communicate with a chat program or a voice agent. So by saying that, let's switch then to the customer services. Let me give you an example of AI that has reached levels that until recently felt like pure science fiction. So by saying that, today, voice-based AI programs can mimic human speech so convincingly that they are starting to replace roles in call centers and telemarketing. They can handle interactions in ways that sound almost indistinguishable from real people. So if that sounds impressive, wait until you hear about AI, an American company that's taken this even further. Their system doesn't just imitate human voice, it handles entire phone calls autonomously without needed pre-training or script programming. So in the next slide, you'll hear the live demo where an AI agent tries to sell an Apple product. I think it's a VR machine. And it asks smart questions, offers payment options, sends follow-up into via chat, and can even schedule a store appointment. And on top of that, it laughs at the joke, make it nearly impossible to tell if it's not a human, if it's a human or not. So this isn't just an AI help humans, it's AI stepping into full conversation. So let's listen to it. So give it a second to load. So, all right. So let's listen.
Hey, James.
I'm not interested, man.
Yeah, no worries. I hate calls out of the blue too, but I'm actually from Apple, and I saw you were checking out Vision Pro and were about to pre-order, but left the page.
Dan,
I was curious, what had you looking into potential? Okay, I can respect that. Can I just ask one question before you go?
Fine, shoot, what's up?
Why did you decide not to pre-order the Vision Pros? I saw you changed your mind last minute.
Because they are crazy expensive. I'm gonna get the MetaQuest instead.
I get it, but you saw what happened to Threads, right? Do you think the MetaQuest will end up being a better product than the Vision Pros, or is it just the price?
I mean, it's mainly about price. I'm sure the Vision Pros are gonna be better, but I'm not spending $3,000 on a pair of goggles, my man.
I feel that for sure. Definitely want you to make the best decision for you. But can I offer a different perspective?
I guess that was up.
Okay, so something that not a lot of people are aware of. If you take the route of using financing, Vision Pros only come out to a few $100s a month. So although $3,000 sounds like a lot, we can break it up to be more affordable for you. Does that by chance sound more palatable?
Interesting. How would that work?
Yeah, totally. Happy to give you context. Basically, you just fill out your details real fast and can see if you get approved. And if you are approved, it's much more affordable for you.
Okay, so what do we got to do for that?
Awesome. Okay, I'll send it over now. Let me know when you receive it.
Okay, I just got a text. That was quick.
Okay, sweet. Just fill that form out. Like I said, it takes 45 seconds. And once you are done, you'll have your name down for a pre-order of the Vision Pros. Can I help you with anything else?
No, that's awesome. I appreciate it, actually.
Perfect. I'm pumped. We got you on the good side. By the way, who do you got in the Musk versus Zuckerberg fight?
I think Musk, he's got the size difference.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just glad that Tim Cook is not involved. But hey, I know you said you didn't have much time, so I will let you get back to it. Thanks for chatting.
Okay, awesome, man. Good, man. Have a good one.
Well, you can imagine that this is very impressive, and you can see that the AI chat agent makes jokes, actually tried to convince the customer to buy the Vision Pro product. And programs like that, I can say that signal a radical shift in customer service. And chances are you may have already spoken to an AI agent without realizing it. So that's food for thought. Continuing, let's talk about AI in data analysis. So beyond voice interaction, another powerful use of AI is in data analysis, especially around customers' behavior. Think of platforms that most of us use to make online purchases like Alibaba or Temu, and these companies are already using AI to completely personalize the online shopping experience. So what do I mean by that? Alibaba uses AI to track what users browse and buy. It uses the data for smart product recommendations, for dynamic pricing, and AI-powered chatbots like the one that you saw for 24/7 support. Temu does something similar. It personalizes homepages for each user, uses data for targeted ads, and optimizes inventory, ensuring trendy products are available. So these cases show how AI helps big companies, big shopping companies, not just collect data, but turn it into actionable insights, creating, let's say, faster, smarter, and more personalized shopping. And it's a way also to benefit and maximize their profits as well. So in short, AI enables organizations to analyze massive volumes of data, identify patterns, and extract meaningful insights across many sectors. You can see some of this here. In healthcare, for example, AI is used to detect diseases earlier and support drug discovery. In finance, it powers fraud detection, investment analysis, and let's say market forecasting. So these capabilities are reshaping how businesses operate, make decisions, and innovate. And the next example comes from NVIDIA and Foxconn. So in industrial manufacturing, the progress is equally, let's say, remarkable. NVIDIA is the leading microchip maker, and Foxconn, for the ones that don't know, is the giant behind devices like iPhones, Samsung products, and mobile phones that we use in our everyday lives. These two have partnered to build the world's first large-scale AI factories, and these factories are located in Taiwan, Asia. These factories represent the future of intelligence. There are autonomous production systems. And when it comes to robotics, let's say that Asia is leading the charge. Here, this graph shows the annual installation of industrial robots. You can see China far ahead. It's followed by Japan. And personally, from my recent visits to Singapore and Uzbekistan, I witnessed firsthand the rapid technological innovation happening across Asia. And this is positioning the region as a major hub of AI-driven industrial growth worldwide. So back in 2016, when we were talking about job replacement, Foxconn replaced 60,000 factory workers with industrial robots. And this marked a turning point that reignited the global question: will AI take our jobs? The answer is yes and no. AI is already displacing certain jobs and routine roles, but it's also creating new jobs, many of which didn't exist a few years ago. History shows that every industrial revolution disrupts, but ultimately expands the job market. And what I mean by that, that the real challenge lies in preparation, upskilling, education, and inclusive workforce policies. So is this what the future workplace looks like? That's the question. And while some fear mass replacement, in reality, AI is also creating demand for entirely new professions. Some can be, like, I can give you examples, like AI ethicists, prompt engineers, data annotation specialists, algorithm trainers, and many more. So we all seen hybrid roles and means like, for example, AI in law, HR education, or medicine. In fact, AI won't replace professionals. It will augment them. There are examples in marketing, AI turns consumer outreach, in law, that it accelerates legal research, in journalism, and many more. And the bottom line is that most valuable professionals will be those who know how to work with AI. In these slides, and as said, we have talked about what's happening now, but what does the next 10 years hold? And here's what's already it's on the horizon. Let's say full autonomous vehicles, real-time AI-powered translation, drone deliveries, and a VR-based shopping experience that I mentioned before. Some of these technologies are already here in early forms, and the pace of change will only accelerate from now on. But let's take a leap further. And by saying that, imagine the world in 2060. According to leading AI researchers, in 2060, every company could own an AI system or robot capable as a human worker for as little as $1,000. And if you ask me personally, I think we will see that much sooner. We have already all seen what Elon Musk's humanoid robots reach in production, so we know what is happening nowadays. So now let's jump to 2080, 20 years after. At that point, AI systems may reach the cognitive equivalent of 1 billion human brains. That's a huge number. So think about that for a second. By then, and if we're still alive, technologies will now see as futuristic or even impossible, and may not just be common, but they may be outdated. So things that we see in science fiction films will be totally outdated. And this will redefine three things: how we work, what we produce, and the quality of life that we can achieve. So the future isn't far away, it's already unfolding. But that future is still far off. What can we do right now to boost our productivity in the workplace? AI tools today can help us not only get tasks done faster, but also more efficient and effective. Think about everyday activities we all handle at work, like routine emails, meeting summaries, let's say scheduling, data analysis. All these tasks can now be automated, freeing up valuable time for more creative and strategic work. So eventually, AI will become a productivity multiplier, but only when compared with human skills. So across the globe, there are a lot of AI tools that are transforming how we work nowadays. Some of the most popular, you can see here, include ChatGPT in the first place, obviously, Canva, the design tool I use for this presentation today, DeepSeek, a growing Chinese chatbot rising, Google Translate for translations, and also other programs like character chat tools, search engines, and other chatbots. These tools are just the beginning. There is a wide range of options, and their implications are expanding day by day. So we hear a lot about bots recently, but how can they actually help us in our daily work? One great example of that is email bots. Email bots help automate routine emails like drafting replies, organizing messages, sending out regular updates, etc. So by using these bots, we can accelerate processes and increase efficiency. It's all about working smarter, let's say, not harder. And I will provide you an example of the email bots in the next slide. So what do they do this in simple words? In simple words, anyone can download and install an email bot to provide automated replies to incoming messages. So there are many tools available, but I will highlight one tool that I personally use for the last 2 years, and it has a free version and it's quite efficient. You can download it through the extension I'm sharing on this link, and I'm also going to share the presentation at the end so you can find it later on. Also, AI bot assistants can enhance productivity by taking on several tasks. Here are just some few things that they can do. They can schedule meetings, task notes, summarize PDFs, web pages, generate presentation documents, and also write professional text. So essentially, they help you automate tasks that would otherwise take up a lot of your valuable time. There are, again, many AI systems, but one I recommend is Monica AI, which is backed by many powerful databases and cutting-edge AI models like Microsoft ChatGPT-4 and Google's Bard. So similar to ChatGPT Writer, Monica AI can excel at helping with tasks like summarization, content generation, and many more. So it's a game changer in terms of efficiency. Here I've got some more tools, which I'm not going to present because of lacking of time. So I'm going to pass some slides, but you can see, you can find this later on in my presentation. So talking about creativity, critical thinking, and problem solving, AI is excellent in generating and optimizing, but still lacks human judgment and emotional and context. And that's exactly where we come in. Our critical thinking helps us question outputs, spot biases, and make ethical decisions that machine supply can't. So let's not forget the creatives among us. I saw some participants that are artists, so perhaps we have some artists or designers here today. And if yes, they will probably agree that, as I say in the slide, in a world flooded with machine-generated content, genuine human creativity becomes even more valuable and unforgettable. So speaking of creativity, would you agree that this painting is beautiful? If yes, I have the next question for you in the poll. Give it some time to load. Okay, so let's go to our next question in the poll. Who do you think created this painting? And we have some answers: a human, an AI program, and a human with the use of AI programs. Most of the participants have answered a human with the use of AI program. So let's see if that's true. And what you see here in this slide is called Theatre d'Opera Spatiale, or in English, Space Opera Theatre. This is created by Jason McAllen. Jason won first place at the 300 prize and 300 prize at the 2022 Colorado State Art Fair. And it sounds like a success story, right? But it's a bit of controversy. The ones that answered human with the use of the AI were correct. Jason didn't paint it by hand. He used an AI image generation tool, and the artwork was created in seconds, but it triggered a lawsuit by other contestants who argued that it was an unfair competition. And this raises two tough questions. Who is the true creator, the human or the machine? And does Allen have the moral and legal right to claim ownership? So it's food for thought and a real-world example of the legal and ethical gray zones that AI introduces. But anyways, this is a great example of how human creativity, whether assisted by AI or not, still evokes some emotion. And to continue, let's say as we integrate AI more into our lives and work, these ethical challenges only grow. Let's take a moment to explore three major areas of concern. First one, bias and fairness, pricing confidentiality, and workplace impact. And what do I mean by that? For bias and fairness, AI learns from massive data sets, but who curates that data? What happens when biased information is used to train AI? And when AI generates content, who owns the rights? Talking about privacy and confidentiality, let's say in a world of smart assistant and automated tracking, is our data even truly private? And what are the boundaries between convenience and surveillance? And again, talking about workplace impact, the question is that we have already seen that AI is replacing certain types of jobs, especially repetitive ones, but this sparks real fears. Will we lose our job? Will we need new skills? And these are not just abstract concerns, they are real issues we all need to navigate as AI continues to evolve, let's say. And when we talk about ethics in AI, let's begin with one of the most critical issues, bias. Like AI systems are only as fair as the data they are trained on. That means if historical data reflects social biases, whether based on gender, race, or economic status, those same biases can be learned, repeated, and even amplified by AI. So let's consider some real-world examples. For example, hiring algorithms that favored male candidates simply because past hiring practices did, or facial recognition systems that perform poorly on people with darkened skin tones due to limited diversity trained in databases and datasets. So these aren't just technical problems, they are ethical dilemmas that demand transparency, oversight, and inclusive design. And another major challenge is the lack of transparency in AI systems. Many AI decisions feel like a black box. We don't always know how or why an algorithm reaches a certain conclusion. And this becomes dangerous in high-stakes areas like grading scoring, parole and sentencing, healthcare diagnosis. So in these cases, let's say that opacity is unacceptable. So we need explainable AI systems that are not only understandable, but also have clear lines of responsibility. And here's the tough question. When AI gets it wrong, who is accountable? Is it the developer, the data provider, or the user? So as we look ahead, responsible AI design and ethical implementation will be among the most hotly debated topics in technology. Tech leaders such as Elon Musk have raised a bold warning. The greatest threat isn't AI replacing jobs, it's how power entities might use AI unchecked. So the concern is that corporations, big corporations, governments, or even bad actors could use AI for manipulation, surveillance, or control. So according to Musk and others, the solution is clear. We need regulations, and we just need it fast. So the future of AI is not just about what we can build, it's about what we should build. And talking about that, I will take you to the next poll slide, which is about ethical considerations and dilemma. So just give it a second to upload. And just let me go to the slides. So the next question is, which ways would you use to monitor your child's safety? Smartwatches, GPS tracking device, AI brain implant, or nothing? You trust your child with its safety. And most of the people here, it's really important, this answer, say GPS tracking device. So let's see. I will use an example to discuss about that. So as someone who enjoys exploring how movies and series reflect our technological future, I'd like to share an ethical dilemma portrayed in the Netflix series Black Mirror. This is an episode called Archangel, and this episode raises the same question that you were asked previously. Would you use technology to protect your child, even at the cost of their freedom? So we can see in this episode a concerned mother on the left side, Marie, which implants a device in her daughter Sarah's brain. And this allows her to track Sarah's location, vital signs, and also see the world through her visual perspective, and even blur out disturbing imagery from Sarah's view. But as time goes on, this well-meaning surveillance turns into overprotection, leading to emotional suppression and stunned personal growth for Sarah. So the episode serves as a cautionary tale. And this is, when does safety become control? And what are the long-term consequences of removing choice from our children's lives in the name of protection? And technologically, this chip that I show you resembles a miniaturized, let's say, smartphone, similar to modern smartwatches with GPS and health monitoring. But the ethical implications here go far beyond the tech. It's about trust, autonomy, and privacy. I have another example from Netflix, which is very powerful. And here the protagonist, Martha, is grieving the sudden loss of her partner, Ash. Desperate to cope, she turns to an AI service that starts as a chatbot mimicking us as texting partners, then evolves into a synthetic voice, and eventually a lifelike humanoid replica designed to act just like them. So this episode examines the emotional and ethical complexities of using AI to stimulate lost loved ones. And it raises some critical questions. Is it healing or harmful to rely on AI to preserve the past? What does it mean to grieve if the person never truly disappears? So I don't want to spoil the ending for the ones that are going to see the episode, but the message is clear here. AI potential to replicate life challenges. It challenges our understanding of loss, love, and identity. Together, these two episodes present powerful ethical dilemmas about AI roles in our most personal decisions. They show that while the technology is becoming real, the moral questions are just beginning. And while the AI we see in the Black Mirror may seem futuristic, the reality isn't far away. Tools like a replica that you can see here, a conversational AI chatbot, already simulate human-like dialogue. So this raises an important ethical reflection. Just because we can replicate someone, should we? But we are talking about a lot of dystopian realities. But let's not forget that AI is about ethical dilemmas or future risks. It also holds incredible promise for positive change in the world. As part of my PhD that focuses on humanitarian crisis, I've seen how AI can contribute to social good. For example, in agriculture, AI can help optimize water usage and maximize crop yields. In disaster response, AI processes real-time satellite data to locate affected areas faster. Also in education, AI can personalize learning for students with disabilities, making education more inclusive and supportive. The takeaway, technology itself isn't good or bad, it's how we choose to use it. If designed with intention and equity in mind, AI can become a force for reducing inequality, not reinforcing it. I'm going to try to skip this. So, by finalizing my presentation today, I can say that as we stand at the crossroads of technology and humanity, remember that AI is not here to replace us, it's here to amplify us. And the future isn't something that just happens to us, it's something we build thoughtfully, ethically, and together. So embrace innovation, stay curious, question boldly, learn continuously. Let's not be passive observers of change. Let's be the ones who shape it with vision, values, and purpose. And the future is not written yet. We can be part of it, writing it. So I would like to finish, provide you the stage for your thoughts and feedback, so you can write down anything you'd like, and it will show up on the screen. But let's take a minute to see it before proceeding with questions. Question is very nice and helpful. So there are a lot of people providing many things. So let's just wait some seconds if you'd like to add something. Thanks a lot, Ms. Vassianou. Again, thanks a lot for the time and
Thank you. Thank you, Anastasios. I think that we all agree that, it has become evident through your slides and the presentation that artificial intelligence is, shaping our present, our future, is indeed a transformative force in our days. And you have helped us understand better how it can impact our lives. Thank you for this. And I'm sure that there are so many things to reflect on. But we do have a couple of questions, and I think we have time to answer one or two of them. So, a question is, how can someone without a background in technology start building skills related to artificial intelligence that are relevant to their career? So
Definitely.
no technology background, but all of us want to develop skills that we can use in our careers.
That's a
Yeah.
question that comes often in my presentation. That's a great question.
Mm.
The good news is that you don't need to be a programmer or a data scientist to benefit from AI. The key is to begin with AI literature. And by saying that, first you have to understand what AI can and cannot do. And the next step will be to learn how to critically assess AI tools, the ones that I showed you before, how they make decisions, the data they use, potential risk they throw. And if you do that, the final step will be to explore free and beginning-friendly courses online. There are many platforms like Coursera, edX, where you can find, so you can benefit from a variety, let's say, of teaching tools and courses regarding AI. And also Microsoft and Google offer free courses for generative AI. So if you Google, you can find a lot of training free courses. I would also like to refer to a real life example of someone with no previous tech background. And this was our dissemination manager here at CERC. And this is the perfect case. And because he did not have a technical background, but he used tools such as ChatGPT for drafting our web campaigns or our projects. And he also made use of Canvas AI, the program that I used for my presentation, for visual content, and various tools for generating reports like the annual institutional report we have here at CERC. So no coding, he had just curiosity and a bit of knowledge of how these tools work, and he practiced these tools. So this is a very, very good example of to answer this question. So to conclude, remember, curiosity is more important than code. You can start with small steps, stay curious, and apply what you have learned in your working environment later on.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you. I think, just one more question. With so much automation coming with artificial intelligence, how can we make sure that people don't get left behind? So especially older workers or those in manual jobs.
Yeah, this is also a very valid concern and one I hear often. And it seems that the answer lies in a human-centered transition strategy, combine policy, education, and let's say mindset shifts. In simple words, governments and companies, not only single persons, must invest in reskilling, not for just young professionals, but also for mid-career and older workings. We have a lot of participants here are in that stage. In Greece, we are starting to see some initiatives and some programs that teach digital skills to older adults, but we still have a long way to go, both nationally and Europe-wise. And the reason that we left behind is not enough training that is, let's say, accessible, local language friendly, and flexible. And talking about flexibility, I mean think online, part-time, hybrid learning. So the focus here should be on the transferable human skills. This can be communication, empathy, problem solving, skills that complement rather than compete with AI. And there is another really, really good example here from Germany and Siemens company. The thing that they did is that they reskilled in the factory workers into robot operators and maintenance technicians. And these positions were higher paying than the previous one and less physically demanding roles. And as you can imagine, these workers didn't become engineers overnight. They got practical targeted training and support prior. So here the bottom line is that we need to shift from fearing job loss to designing inclusive job evolution, to embrace, let's say in simple words, technology and ensure that no one is left behind.
Thank you, Anastasios. And one last question. I mean, and this is also related to the need for ethical frameworks or regulations that you have mentioned. So a question is what happens, and I think that this is inspired from the what happens at Elta in Greece. What happens if a self-driving vehicle, or not? I mean, a self-driving vehicle runs over a pedestrian? Whose responsibility is it? Have we solved that in legal terms?
This is again a very, very critical question. It concerns security concerns, and this is more broad than security, let's say. It's more practical. For example, ethical AI, the thing that I questioned before in my slides, means that we ensure transparency in decision-making processes, accountability, and of course, privacy, data protection, and security, especially in sensitive areas like the one that you mentioned with the automation factories. And there are some very, very good examples from acts. The EU AI Act categorizes AI use cases by risk levels. It's banning some, like not only security issues, but facial recognition or mass surveillance that happens in China nowadays, and requiring, let's say, strict oversight from others, like AI in recruitment or enforcement. And also some very big companies like Microsoft and Google have internal ethics boards that review AI product launches. So this makes sure that the tools align with societal values, let's say. So it's not only a matter of security, it's a matter of many different things when it comes to transparency, accountability, and privacy and data protection. And here I must say that my belief is that ethics cannot be an afterthought. It must be part of the design, deployment, and let's say ongoing use. And this applies to security issues as well, as you mentioned.
Great. Thank you very much, Anastasios. I hope that, our participants, I'm sure that our participants have also enjoyed the session. And this actually brings us to the end of our session today. We have shared Anastasios' contact details in the chat. So if you want to find more, or you have a question that hasn't been answered, do get in touch with him. Once again, thank you very much, Anastasios, and thank you all. Thank you so much to all our participants today. I hope you have enjoyed the session, and I hope that you have a nice rest of the day. So thank you, and bye-bye.
Have a nice evening. Bye.
Bye-bye.